Hello to all my woo homies out there. This is a collective reading for you. I felt drawn to do a reading with my Golden Dawn Tarot deck. I don't use this deck often. I will tell you why, but I'll do so at the end after the reading in case people who are watching this don't care. I felt drawn to do a reading with this deck on Friday, and I didn't get around to it before today. And I figured, you know what? Since I'm using this deck to do a collective reading, I might as well use a Golden Dawn spread. You may or may not have seen the Golden Dawn Tarot spread on YouTube. What you have seen was probably the 15 card version, if I'm right about you. But I'm going to do the 10 card version. I've never done this spread before, so we will see what happens. The question I shuffled for is how can we reach our goal? I'm including myself in this. As always, there are 3 oracle cards here. Off to the side, I invite you to pick the one that resonates with you the most. So let's cut her up and see what happens. Okay, this is interesting. And the 10 of Swords flipped over. I will treat this just like a jumper. So the 10 of Swords flipped over. I'll put it back in the deck. It's not going to be part of the reading, but y'all saw it. So the first card is the Querent, or the situation, and we see we have the Magician. I'm not going to show each card close up like this, but it's really fascinating to see how the Magician in this deck also has all 4 elements on the table. Just so you know, the normal tarot deck, which was designed by Arthur Edward Waite. I'm pretty sure his first name was Arthur. This is embarrassing if I'm wrong. And the Thoth deck, which was designed by Aleister Crowley. Both Waite and Crowley were in the Order of the Golden Dawn, which is what drew me to this deck, or once I learned of its existence. So anyway, the Magician, this is, we want to manifest, we want to make things happen, and it looks like we have the ability to do it, which is really awesome. So let's go with cards 2 and 3, which is about subconscious or hidden influence, or things that might be influencing things but not seen. And now we have the Star and the Hangman. This is all majors so far. This is very interesting. So it's funny, like, here's the thing. These 2 positions are for what is hidden to the Querent, which is all of us right now. And what I'm getting from these is that there's a need for healing. The Star is a card of healing and regeneration. And a need to accept a new perspective. Which is my shorthand explanation for the Hangman. So that this is below the surface is very curious to me, but let's see what the next 2 cards give. The next 2 cards are conscious or visible influences, and we have the 9 of Swords and the 2 of Swords. So it's like... it's funny because you may or may not have noticed the Golden Dawn, they put little words at the bottom of their pips. So the 9, oh my God, the 9 of Swords is despair and cruelty. And the 2 of Swords is peace restored. Now, I don't usually pay too much attention to these. I might not read them all. But this is interesting because it with everything that's happening in the world, I'm sure that the Russia-Ukraine situation is making all of our problems seem pithy and small in comparison. I right now recording this, and probably you, hopefully watching this, have no immediate concerns of a bombshell falling on the structure that we're in right now. And it is nice, but it is something that's been at the top of my mind. It's at the top of a lot of people's minds. And the piece restored, I'm not sure how to interpret this, or the Two of Swords. I think falling back a bit to my more fundamental understanding of the tarot, this is about making a decision, making a choice. So I'm reminded of a friend of mine who said that we are at a crossroads between 1,000 years of war and 1,000 years of peace. And right now, even though there is a lot of cruelty and despair visible to us, what I'm getting from this Two of Swords here is that we do have an opportunity to change things. Let's look at the past positions. And before I turn these cards over, I gotta say, I like to put the past here and the future here, but in the Golden Dawn spread, they put the past here. And I don't want to change it right now. If I do this spread again, I probably will. But let us go with the Chariot and the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands, it's funny too, because in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this is clearly a card of victory. And in the Golden Dawn deck, it literally has the word victory written under here. So this is confusing me because this is very optimistic. It's like we have, okay, I'm getting small victories and the capacity for major victories, because if you're resonating with this, if you're one of my woo homies, it is difficult for me to consider the goals that we want to achieve to have been achieved, which is why, especially in the past position, I can't really interpret the Chariot as a victory. Although the Six of Wands, you know, there has been progress made, and with the geopolitical situation at the top of a lot of people's minds, it's hard to, it's easy to lose perspective of them. So I think that, you know, even though we can do more, and we want to do more, we want to fucking manifest and keep going, that despite everything that's going on, we have choices to make to turn these small victories into bigger victories. And there's a need for it. There's a need for regeneration and healing and new perspectives. So let's go into the potential futures or potential outcomes. And we have the Six of Cups and the Six of Coins. Interesting. So it's almost as if, and I have a feeling that the 10th card will clarify this. And despite, I'm sure the Golden Dawn would not recommend this, but I am going to use the bottom of the deck because I always do. So 2 sixes, one in the, okay, they're both in the passive elements of cups being water and coins or pentacles being earth. So I guess the crossroads that we're at between 1,000 years of war or 1,000 years of peace will depend on our ability to, how can I say this? Oh, there are 3 sixes with the Six of Wands in our past. It'll depend on our ability to channel this Chariot energy and try to find small comforts, maybe maybe opportunities to help people. There's a very helpful energy with the sixes that are here of cups and of pentacles. However, they're not major. You know, these are pips, and I have a feeling that with the crossroads that we're at and the need for healing, I think that these two pips in our potential future is an invitation to not... I'm tempted to use a football analogy, American football. So in football, you have passing and running. And the running game tends to advance the ball in short spurts. Sometimes, yes, there's a breakout and you can run all the way to the touchdown. But generally speaking, the running game is where you do slow, consistent progress, whereas the passing game gives you an opportunity to make huge gains. But if the pass is not completed, you basically end up exactly where you are at. The reason I'm going into this is because these two sixes here, you know, material success and pleasure, these are, they're pips, and they're not even tens. Like they're just past the halfway mark from 1 to 10. And this is an invitation that despite the strong need for it and the strong capacity for change, both in our past and in the present, to kind of not hit the gas too hard. Let's turn over the 10th card, which is the bridge from here to there. And we have the 7 of Pentacles with the Fool at the bottom of the deck. How fitting. So what I'm getting from the 7 of Pentacles, this might be, what made me go, oh, right there, is that the 7 of Pentacles, I'm seeing it as, it is a call to accept that we won't be able to make major strides as quickly as we would like, despite the need and our capacity to do it. And I think that to try to bite off more than we can chew at the moment is might not yield the results that we want. That's what I'm getting from the 7 of Coins as a bridge between the past and these two sixes here. Yeah, and it's funny too. I'm focusing on the Fool at the bottom of the deck, which is you know, a reminder that this is going to be a journey, and whenever we start on a journey and we have, you know, we're starting out, it's difficult to know how it's going to play out, what's going to happen. And I don't think it's, how can I say this? It's also a reminder to not panic if things don't turn out the way you would like, because, and I say this all the time, the universe doesn't give you any challenges that you are not capable of overcoming. It often feels like it is, but that's not true. So yeah, and the feeling of capacity to do what we want to do is reinforced threefold by the Fool, the Magician with all the elements on the table, and the Chariot here. It's kind of like the bridge between the past victories and the future victories. It relies in our capacity to use our ability to manifest, but wisely. And despite the need and the demand for it to man, I'm tempted to say chill out. That feels like the wrong word, which is why I wanted to stop myself just now. But to pick our battles and to go for the wins that we can. I think that acting locally is basically all we can ever do. You know, unless you're one of the chosen few. I don't know why I said chosen there. Please don't be distracted by that word. But the bottom line is these victories that we have in our past and the future success that we have in our future are all pips, except for the Chariot. But let's forget about that. The point I'm driving at is that they're pips, which gives me an impression of local action and local success, both in the past and the future. And if you're watching this, I'm sure that you are aware of how, you know, the different victories that we have behind us at our backs have been local for the most part. The global revolution that we would like to see happen, and which I think there is a need for, a demand for. I think it is still possible. However, right now, the crossroads that we're at and the choices that we have to make, I think that if we try to go for too much at this point, that it might not turn out the way we would like. And the best thing that we can do for these needs right here is to accept that we're going to have to take small baby steps despite our desire and capacity, reinforced by this and this here, to make giant strides. I think that is all I have for right now. I'm not sure what the Ten of Swords flipping over meant, so I basically ignored it for the most part, but that is what we have. So now it's time for the Oracle card readings. So if you picked this group, your card is Keeping Still. This is I Ching Hexagram number 32. You can imagine how fitting this is to the reading I just gave. And the keywords are meditation, self-renewal, composure, detachment, self-acceptance, equanimity, and serenity. This screams to me that, you know, to become the person that you want, to focus on working on yourself. So maybe this Magician, Chariot, and Fool energy is best suited for yourself in a spirit of detachment. And, you know, the famous saying that's kind of a cliche at this point, to be in the world but not of it. And, you know, if you're watching this and if you're resonating with this, I think you can understand how if you get carried away in all the craziness that's happening right now, that would be there's a danger that you can like get lost in the fray, and this Chariot, Magician, and Fool energy won't be available for the world once we've passed the stage for these small successes and can really bring about what is really wanted. Next card is Ceres, Nurture. I don't know much about Ceres, but I can say that to nurture, I'm going to focus on that word. So this is an invitation to, I'm not sure if it's to nurture yourself or others, but to really be there with compassion and to You know, sometimes when someone comes to you with a problem or a situation or just being sad, the mere act of listening to them can be really helpful. And it's funny too, because I was having a conversation about this the other day. And sometimes when, let's say, someone is coming at you with a problem that they have, and they just want to vent, to maybe just be there for them. Sometimes people need people to just be there for them. And I would, if you picked this card, I would invite you to focus on being helpful to others, and to be proactive in checking in on people, and to really be that source of joy and renewal for these people. Yep. And this card is Principle. Oh my God. This is Jupiter in Sagittarius. I frequently need a moment to just absorb the imagery on this card. Just give me a second here. I'm drawn to the Pope hat and the sun and moon here. What I'm getting from this is that, because Sagittarius is a very, it's mutable fire, right? So it's about taking your will and just, propagating it as much as you can. And Jupiter being a force of expansion, to me, what I'm getting is to rely on your principles, and you probably have knowledge that you can use. No, sorry, you probably have knowledge that you have used to make good decisions in the past, to distinguish truth from falsehood in the past, to determine good action from bad action in the past. And I'm taking this card as an invitation to rely on those, because that is what you need, and that is what the people around you need, is to be that compass, that North Star that people can guide themselves around. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. Please let me know if this resonated with you down below. I have not forgotten. I will tell you why I don't use this deck often, despite the fact that I've gotten many good readings from this deck, including this one. The reason I don't use this deck often is because, for lack of a better term, I find it boring. It's the word that keeps coming up for me when I think of this deck is mechanical. Like, I understand that the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, again, Arthur Waite was in the Order of the Golden Dawn, and he wanted to make a deck. When he made his deck, he wanted to kind of dumb the tarot down for people, which is why the decks are like illustrated. I think that it's a double-edged sword, because people can get locked into one interpretation of the card, maybe at the expense of others. But there's a lot of symbolism, which is there in each card to like help you if ever you forget. And it's kind of like learning the tarot on training wheels. And Aleister Crowley, when he made his Thoth deck, he was, Aleister Crowley was he was kind of the genius narcissist, where he brags about how amazing he is, and he also backs it up, so it's kind of like doubly annoying. And where am I going with this? Yeah, because I also have a Crowley deck, And when I look at it, the style of the style of the cards is similar in form to these cards. However, the imagery is so much more vivid. Like the cards, sometimes they leap out at you. I love that deck. Whereas, for instance, the Nine of Swords here, in the Crowley deck, it's called Cruelty. Oh, which is one of the words here. And there's like 9 downwards pointing swords, dripping blood and everything like that. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it's this woman sitting up in her bed at night. Whereas this, it's like 9 swords. There are 9 swords in this card. Despair and cruelty. And it all the pips especially, they feel very, there are 6 ones in this card. And that is why I'm not often drawn to this deck. I don't use it often, but as the tarot geek that I am, knowing that the organization that made this deck is the organization that both Waite and Crowley were in, it feels like I'm getting the tarot knowledge from the source, so to speak. Even though the Marseille deck predates the Golden Dawn, the Golden Dawn had a huge influence on how tarot and occult knowledge in general, got distributed to the masses from the 18th century on. Oh no, I think 19th century. Anyway. So yeah, I'm glad I have it, but even though I can get great readings from it, like I hope to have demonstrated, I sure enjoyed it because I included myself in this reading. I don't know. I'd just rather use the Crowley or the Waite deck. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you're still here, please hit the like button if you're still here. Why not? And I will see you soon.